Born Lurleen, burns in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. In 1926, she entered the world during an era of depression and hardship, when hope was stitched together by the will to endure. Her childhood was modest, small homes, tight budgets, and the hum of southern summers, broken only by the calls of neighbors and the rhythm of work. From those early years came the values that would define her: perseverance, quiet strength, and faith in the simple decency of people. As a young woman, Lurleen worked in a five-and-dime store, where she met a fiery law student named George Wallace. The two married in 1943, and together they would shape one of the most influential and controversial collegiatories in Alabama history. Yet while George stormed across stages and campaigns, shouting defiance and ambition, Lurleen stood as the quiet center, the calm amid his storms. In the 1960s, Alabama politics was a crucible of conflict. Civil rights marches, federal intervention, and racial tension defined the decade. George Wallace, barred by term limits from succeeding himself as governor in 1966, turned to the person he trusted most, his wife Lurleen, along his confidant and emotional anchor, agreed to run not merely as a figurehead, but as a woman whose voice could steady the state. Her campaign spoke to the people's yearning for continuity and reassurance amid turmoil. When she was elected in 1966, Lurleen Wallace became Alabama's first female governor, a milestone that broke centuries of precedent. To many, she embodied the Southern ideal of dignity and devotion. Yet her tenure revealed more than symbolism. She was active, decisive, and unafraid to challenge expectations. Her concern for mental health reform led her to visit overcrowded state hospitals, where she saw firsthand the neglect of those society had forgotten. She pushed for improvements to conditions in these institutions, seeking humanity where bureaucracy had long been blind. Despite the shadow of her husband's political machine, Lurleen developed her own relationship with the people. Citizens saw in her something genuine, not the bombast of campaign slogans, but a quiet determination to serve. She traveled the state endlessly, meeting citizens, listening to their needs, and showing that leadership could be rooted in compassion as much as command. Behind the public duties, however, she fought a private war, diagnosed with cancer. Lurleen continued her work with unwavering grace, hiding her pain from the public eye. She refused to allow illness to slow her, even as it advanced relentlessly. Her courage, always understated, became legend. To many Alabamians, she represented not just governance, but resilience. The ability to lead, to nurture, and to endure. In 1968, Lurleen Wallace's health declined rapidly. The people of Alabama grieved as she passed at the young age of 41. Her funeral drew crowds from across the state, people who came not out of politics, but respect. They remembered a woman who held had stood tall in a man's world, who led with warmth and dignity in an era of anger. Her legacy endures as a testament to quiet power in an age when voices shouted. She proved that conviction could whisper and still move mountains. Alabama remembers her as the first woman to hold its highest office, a daughter, wife, and leader who brought grace to a storm. Lurleen Wallace, the heart of Alabama's political story, who lived with courage, served with humility, and left a legacy of compassion that still echoes